Yeah, Reagan, well, there were about a dozen people outside the prison this morning protesting that execution. Many of them, like you said, were praying for both the victims' families as well as for Coddington. But all agreed that Coddington did deserve clemency. Now, they all point to Coddington's horrific upbringing. He was born to a drug-addicted mother who went to prison, and he was abused by his father and forced to drink alcohol from baby bottles before becoming addicted to drugs as a child. Now, Coddington has been called a model prisoner for his entire time on death row and continually expresses regret about his 1997 murder. Now, I did talk to one man who was on death row in New York back in the 1970s, and he was actually freed before he was reconvicted. He says that he is a living example of people who can show remorse and turn their lives around.
James's situation, I mean, it kind of corresponds to mine, you know. People change. If you don't believe that people can change, and some people can change, but when you see somebody and you know they're authentic or at least struggling to be good people, do the right thing, you got to give them a chance.
I did talk to the man who led Coddington in the chamber today as his spiritual advisor, and I'll share why he thinks that this clemency denial was a terrible decision by the governor. I'll have that story at 4 and 6. Reagan?
Thank you, Kristen. Well, Coddington also has the support of former DOC Director Justin Jones, who says he reviewed Coddington's case and believes the state should not have executed Coddington. He referenced positive comments from other prisoners and staff about Coddington's conduct while in prison, and says he has shown remorse.
I do respect his position, but, you know, if Mr. Coddington, if he can't get clemency, then I certainly would not hold out any promise or any hope that anyone would get clemency.
If he is waiting for us.
The demonstrators gathered in front of Governor Stitt's mansion yesterday to protest the execution. Richard Glossop was the next man on death row scheduled to be executed. He was convicted of orchestrating the murder of Barry Van Treese in the late 90s. Groups on both sides of the aisle, though, say there are serious questions about his guilt. Governor Kevin Stitt has delayed his execution until December to allow legal proceedings to work out. That makes Benjamin Cole the next person scheduled to be put to death. He was sentenced to death for the 2002 murder of his infant daughter in Rogers County. Cole's lawyers say he has significant mental illness. His execution date is scheduled for October 20th. Now, today was also the final execution for current DOC Director Scott Crow. He says he's retiring shortly. He says, you know, when he was asked about the whole process and how it's gone under his administration, he says he feels like it's been a very tedious couple of years through this whole process, but feels that his staff has done a thorough job of carrying out the job that they're ordered to do. Now, we're going to have more from Albert Hale's family coming up tonight at 4, 5, and 6. Live in McAlester, Reagan Ledbetter, Oklahoma Zone News on 6.